What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so we're on comicbook.com, and they've got a little breaking news here. Marvel Studios in talks with the Russo brothers to direct Avengers 5 and 6. Marvel Studios is tapping Joe and Anthony Russo to return to the director's chairs for Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, which were previously titled Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars, before Marvel decided to retool the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise. The Russos directed Marvel's most successful films of all time, Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, which served as the two-part finale of the previous Infinity Saga story arc of the MCU. All right, so this has me excited. The Russos, now, this was a couple years ago. I think I was on a stream, and I named my Mount Rushmore of superhero movies. And for me, now this is obviously just my opinion, but now, it's 4 Mount Rushmore, so I got my 4 best superhero movies of all time. And for me, my first pick was Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi, Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, directed by the Russo brothers, and the 4th film in that franchise of my Mount Rushmore was Avengers: Infinity War, again directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. So those were my 4. Now, I did give honorable mentions to the Batman: The Dark Knight, which I think is an amazing film. But since I only had 4, I had to keep Spider-Man 2 showed what superhero movies could be. Spider-Man 1 was a big hit, but I thought certain things, there were little things that I found in the movie that I was like, it's good, but it's not great. It obviously put a lot of people in the theaters over the summer, and I was one of them. But when I saw Spider-Man 2, it took it to such a high level. And I think that torch was passed to Joss Whedon and Avengers. And then because I knew they were going to do a lot of CGI stuff, and I was like, it's probably going to look really cheesy. And it looked incredible. And it was such, that's why it did over $1 billion. And then I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I still say is one of the best written films, period. The acting, I see no flaws in The Winter Soldier. The acting, the casting, it's a near perfect film. I've debated that with certain friends, and some of them, the pacing, this and that. And I'm like, no. The way it's set up from beginning, middle to end, they actually took the plot. And Joe and Anthony Russo were comedy directors. They had worked on Arrested Development, so that was something that I just really. They also directed Captain America: Civil War, which I absolutely loved. Captain America: Civil War, obviously I did not include that on my Mount Rushmore because I just felt Infinity War is such an incredible film that if it's like I look at Civil War and I look at Infinity War and I'm like, I can't deny Infinity War. It's such an incredible, impactful film. Now, some people will be like, why didn't you include Endgame? I enjoyed Endgame. I give it a thumbs up. I thought like 85-90% of the movie was damn near perfect, but they did some stuff that they didn't do in the previous Marvel films. That's why you get a lot of people talking about the quote-unquote woke Avengers and all this stuff. They did the scene at the end where they was like, hey, let's have all the women Avengers get together and all that weird stuff. And giving Sam the shield over Bucky which and I've done this on live streams when I was streaming more, and I know I keep saying I might start streaming again, but I've talked about the fact that based on both characters' history in the comic books with Captain America, that either Sam or Bucky was worthy of getting Cap's shield at the end of Endgame. When you listen to the director's commentary on Avengers Endgame, the two guys that wrote Avengers Endgame admitted that they gave Sam Cap's shield not because he was worthy. They gave it to him because they thought it would be a great moment for America if a black man was seen. And I was like, so his history with Captain America had, I'm talking about when you look in the comic book, Sam Wilson is an important, integral character and connected to Captain America. He was just as worthy of getting the shield as Bucky was, but they decided, hey, let's give it to him because he's black. So he didn't earn it on merit. They just gave it to him because he's black, and that bothered me a little bit because I was like, that's weird for them to even put that out there like that. That they admitted. Like I said, you can listen to, if you've got Avengers Endgame on Blu-ray, put the director's commentary on and skip to that part where the scene is about to happen where Steve, shows up on that bench and gives Sam the shield. And they're talking, just like when the girl scene happened, they were like, we thought it would be powerful to show all these women, and everybody, because I was in the theater and everybody's like, what is this? I mean, you were hearing people discuss it because all the other movies that they worked on, they just focused on story. When you start intentionally inserting stuff like that, it takes part of the relevance of the storytelling out of it for me. But that's why, even though I thought at the end I give a nice thumbs up to an Endgame, they didn't do any of that stuff in Infinity War. They also worked on the script for Civil War, and they didn't do it. Like I said, those movies, that's why I had to, so like when they're admitting that they was like, we thought, it would just be a powerful moment if we showed all these strong women that had contributed to the MCU. And I was like, nobody wants to see that right now. Get on with the story. Stop. Because, I grew up reading Chris Claremont wrote X-Men for 17 years. And there were huge chunks of his time as the writer that the majority of the X-Men were women. We had Rogue and Psylocke and Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde and all the, there were all these cool women, and nobody was like, why are all these women here? These women don't belong. We just was like, hey, this is cool. And I kept buying all the great stories, and, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, and Joe Madureira, and that just, man. And then the Kuberts came, and then that's what I was, I wasn't like, why are these women in here? And all that. That's the normal, I'm talking about normal people, normal comic book readers, comic book fans. If the story's good, we'll come. You don't have to preach inclusion to us. I mean, that's just me. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but that I was just explaining why. Because, like I said, I know, and like I said, if you disagree with me, I am so cool. I want all the smoke. Get in the comments. Let me know. We are so close to getting to 3,000 subs. I still need you. Please help us out. We did hit over 500,000 views, which I want to thank you guys for. Hitting over 500,000 views on this channel is fantastic. Thank you guys so much. But give me a sub. I need you. I want you. Facebook, Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Threads. All at Ikari Press. Type in IkariPress.com. It will take you to my comic book brand, Way of the Gun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.